Sup flappers. So in today's video, we're going to be tackling something, again, I guess slightly controversial, but I hope I can provide you guys a perspective of all sides, as I am somebody who went from being a free-to-play to being a fish, dolphin, whale. I'm not a Leviathan, right? I don't have C6, R5, everything, but I am certainly, I guess, by some people's metric, a whale. So this topic, I think, is not often really dissected and talked about amongst the Genshin Impact community, because depending on who you ask, you may end up with a ton of different answers. But hold your horses, right? Just because I did not put dolphins and fishes in the title or the thumbnail, it doesn't mean we're not going to talk about them. We're going to talk about all the levels of spendings in this video, and I will include all the subcategories in between. I will go over what I personally think the pros and cons of being in each category of players feels like, as I do feel I have been through each phase and stage of playing Genshin, and for people looking to either burn cash on this game or otherwise, hope this can shed some light from my perspective on how things feel as you progress through the spending tiers. Alright, now from the beginning, we have to understand what a game like Genshin is. Personally, it's much like a journey that we are embarking. This isn't a game that can be finished overnight or in a couple of weeks. While you can clear the hardest content in the game, the true end of the game is quite abstract as of now. You can say once you have 8 characters at level 90 with amazing plus 20 artifacts and clear the abyss, then you essentially have cleared the game. Others will say once you are caught up to the story, you've cleared the game. And yet again, others will say once you unlock 100% of all the areas, then you've cleared the game. And then some will come around and say once you get your teapot to level 10, then you've cleared the game. There also will be a few whom will also mention that you have to do all of the mentioned things that I just mentioned to clear the game. And here is the core of the question then. What is your goal in playing Genshin Impact? Now forget whaling, free-to-play, dolphins, and fishes levels of spending for a second here and evaluate what is your goal in playing Genshin Impact. Because we can't even get towards this, the main question of this video until you, or I guess myself or whoever is watching, can answer that question, right? So since I'm here, let's take me for example. I enjoy collecting these characters as I find they each have unique playstyles and can be the key to interesting synergies. I care about the story, but it isn't something that drives me. I am absolutely in love with Genshin Impact's combat system, and at the end of the day, I wind down by challenging the abyss with some new teams here and there. You can see from my exploration that I am not somebody who likes to complete tasks or go to search for things. I like to roam free and experience things that piques my interest in the moment. Now, some would categorize me as a whale, and as I have spent around maybe $4,000 on this game, and by our previous criteria, I am not close to clearing the game in some regards. Now, Genshin is a game that is constantly updating as well, right? So with new patches every 6 weeks, and here comes another question. With the new patches comes characters, events, and sometimes even new areas to explore. For different people, the new update may bring different levels of excitement. I know a few friends whom are very hardcore teapot players. While they do other things outside of their teapot, the vast majority of their time in-game is spent on improving their teapot. So for those people, new abyss changes and endgame based events may not interest them as much. Now, after saying all that, I hope I made one point very clear. We all play this game for a different reason. The amount of money someone puts into this game may enhance their experience, but the same could be said for not spending money, right? Being a free-to-play player is incredibly limiting. Now, since I often compare playing Genshin Impact to running a marathon, let's say that the free-to-plays are your average marathon runners whom are just wearing a t-shirt, pair of pants, and a pair of runners. For the fishes category of spenders, they're kind of like the ones with some extra gear, such as maybe a headband, wristband, and that's pretty much it. Dolphins has a heart rate monitor, more arrow apparel to reduce wind drag, and whales are the ones with 5 pace runners running in front of them, a full suit of high-tech gear to minimize drag as much as possible. At the end of the day, people, we are all running the same marathon, and just because you don't have $10,000 worth of marathon gear does not make the process of running less enjoyable. Sure, the $10,000 can help with some fundamental obstacles, but at the end of the day, if you continue running, eventually you'll finish the marathon, right? That's just how it works. And that is how I see this issue of being a whale or free to play. When people shit on whales for spending in the game and killing the fun for themselves, it's more like they are paying to have the fundamental resistance of the game reduced. Some players are here for the adversity and challenges the game has to offer. Others are here to one-shot. Who is to say one has more fun than the other? It's more important to categorize yourself properly prior to making these decisions though. What I can say is that in this day and age where everyone wants instant gratification and everything around us has conditioned us to be incredibly impatient, being a whale does feel to be more liberating and in tune with everything that is happening around us. Being a free-to-play player will often feel tiring and less flavorful, if that makes sense, in comparison to the other spending tiers. Now, for a lot of us, that can be mistaken for boring or unfun, but it really takes someone who is willing to grind through the BS to actually enjoy what they have. For example, a 5-star unit feels very different to a free-to-play than a whale, and I can guarantee you that if you want your characters to feel premium, to feel truly special, there's no better way than to be a free-to-play player. These players will carefully plot out their spendings and dig through the deepest trenches to find out future patch information early in order to make sure that their resources are best spent on the things they truly want. For free-to-play players, this process is what they will remember Genshin Impact as. The process, the grind, the journey that they spent, right? As for the whales, we oftentimes choose to forego the process and look to the end product. We will remember Genshin Impact as us using different 5 stars to one-shot bosses, or how we spent an afternoon for a 2 million DPS screenshot with a broken character. It's result-based. If you are thinking of being a whale, you are choosing to remove process and jump more towards the result. Now, is this what you want? Personally, I find my life to be far too crammed to be spending too much time playing Genshin Impact, and the process of grinding for a result is just not something I can allocate time to in my current state. Hence, I am able to enjoy Genshin through whaling and still getting all the characters I want to experience the amazing Genshin Impact combat system for myself. Don't worry though, like I said before, we are all headed to the same place whether you dump 50k in this game or 0. Genshin is a marathon, and now that you've watched all the way here, how do you choose to run it? That is my final question for you today. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this cleared up some of the air. If you guys are newer players, you are wondering what's the difference between free-to-playing and whale. It's kind of an abstract video, but I hope this has got the point across. Finally, I want to mention that there should be a patch live stream for patch 2.1 coming up very soon. Stay tuned for that. I'll be live translating if it requires translation, or we'll just be hosting a watch party just like we always do. With that said, until next time, stay safe and peace.